Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Crime Lines and Lies. Welcome to the channel. I hope everyone had a nice, relaxing weekend. Maybe got to go out and eat, go shopping, whatever it is you do. I know a lot of people got snow. I've been looking at pictures of snow. Just got some, deep breath and get ready for the next week. Get ready for the next week, which is what we're doing today. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Lots of parades and everything going on today. Most people have the day off. School is out. It's also Kat's birthday. It is Holly Bean's birthday. So we're going to give a special shout out to both of them. And I'm going to tell a few people hi. If I miss your name, I apologize. Dodging Bullets, first one in, good morning. Katie Bird, good morning. Leanne, good morning. Crystal, I saw your comment. Crystal said, waiting for your live, scared to hear about the organ harvesting though. My son is a heart transplant. Rumors like that really hurt. Yep, and this rumor we're going to talk about because it is nuts deluxe. Amanda, good morning, everyone. Well, you were some chatting people in here. I missed you too, just me. And I just talked to you a little bit ago. That's crazy. Like, you just do a live on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's Monday. It's like I haven't talked to you guys in forever. Superior Dreams. Hello, my friend. Hello, the other Sharon. Hello. Mama Kay, good morning. I got to talk to Mama Kay over the weekend. It was a good time to catch up. There's my friend Pat Kay. So I hope everyone, like I said, had a great weekend and we're getting geared up for Monday. Hello, Teresa. Hello. Hopefully nobody's caught up in those nasty storms. Everyone's healthy. Good morning, Deb. Dixie Kane, good morning. Hello, everyone. There's my friend Shannon Georgia Peach. Let me see. I think I missed somebody. If I missed you, I apologize. Oh, there's Holly Beans. Happy birthday, Holly Beans. Got two birthdays in here. Sarah says, hi, everyone. Hey, Sarah. There's our friend Jen. Carla Gentry, good morning. Good morning. Absolutely. Yeah, our friend Kevin's off today. Kids out of school. Good morning, Jamie. Kids out of school. So it's a good day to spend with family. Enjoy that day off work. Like I said, lots of parades going on. I think we have one here at noon, and then like different surrounding communities have them. So, yep, everyone's nice over here. So a couple of you messaged me about becoming a member. I'm putting a link up right now. Holly, you're right. Today is also Betty White's birthday. Some people are like, well, I'm sad she didn't make it to 100. Well, I kind of think she did because she lived through several leap years. So we're just going to call her 100 today. Yep, nothing but friends here. Always a great crowd. So before we get into the show, we're going to honor Martin Luther King. And because it's important. And then we will get on with the show.
Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
I tell you what, that speech, and that's not even the whole speech, gives me chills every time. We had to memorize it in school. Yep, and I love Tamara's comment, content of character. Yep. We have a lot of characters in here, which is a good thing, and you guys all have great character. And we have a lot of new names in here, guys. Hit that sub button. Love hanging out with you guys. Love hanging out with you guys. New member. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Pat, thank you. Thank you. Big day. Big day. Martin Luther King Day is a big day. So, like I said, Kevin's off today. It's Martin Luther King Day. Kids are out of school. But you all be the judge. Do you think that he's hanging out with the grandkids, or do you think he's still working on his mission to woo Candace? You all be the judge. I got some doubts in my mind. I kind of think this is more about Candace. So we got Kat backstage. It's her birthday. We're going to bring her up and see what she's thinking and get this show rolling. Hello, Kat.
Hey, Brooks. Good morning. Hi, everyone in chat.
Happy birthday to
Thank
you.
Thank you so much. It's been a really good day so far.
Oh, Kevin's in chat and he's laughing.
Kevin's in chat. Hey, Kevin. I'm doing your job.
I think he's laughing about spending the day with the grandkids. I'm going to take all those emojis as code that he has gotten to Candace. Thank you, Kevin. Right. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you. Yep. Shannon just said Kevin is multitasking. I like that. And Kevin is a multitasker.
Absolutely. He's a superstar.
So besides the very, very important Martin Luther King Day, Saturday, believe it or not, 7 months.
7 months.
Since summer disappeared. I checked the TBI website, the Twitter, WJHL. There was no update. Normally they put something on there. Unless I missed it. If you guys saw something, send it to me. I didn't see anything. But over the weekend, TBI did recover 3 children and get them to safety. Elijah Kinzinger, Emily, and Christopher Crace were found. Amber Alerts, all of them. Yeah. And the difference between these 3 children and Summer Wells is they had full cooperation and credible tips. I know a lot of people, when the little girl in Australia was found, they were like, they need to do, TBI needs to do what they did in Australia. They had a credible tip that they followed up on. They don't have a credible tip. It still blows my mind. It still blows my mind. Not going to lie.
Well, they're not likely to be getting credible tips with all the rumors that are going on at the moment, are they?
Nope. And you know me, I don't like to address the rumors. I figure they're just going to, peter out is what I think. And
they get worse in this case every day.
They get worse. They get worse. And several of you have contacted me over the weekend about the newest rumor. And I didn't even really address it. But since it is so rampant, I thought that us as a community should discuss it. Is it possible? Not really. Is it probable? No. So, this is not the movies. I think some people forget that this is real life. This is not watching Days of Our Lives or watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. This is not reality TV. This is real life going on. This is not the movies.
And horrible enough things happen in real life. Like bad and awful enough things happen in real life. It seems to be the reality of this situation is complicated, but the stories and the rumors that are being told around it are even worse than the reality, and that's bad enough.
Yeah, like Sarah said, Don Wells is not Liam Neeson.
Right.
Not even on his best day.
Oh, no.
Hell no. And here's another thing with this rumor that's going around. Don is eating it up.
Yep.
This shit show is a defense attorney's wet dream.
Absolutely. I don't know if people realize the consequences and the implications of the rumors that they perpetuate.
No.
It has a huge knock-on effect, especially in going into the future when, like you say, this case may go to trial, it may go to court. All of the things that are happening at the moment are putting a massive spanner in the works for justice. They're just giving the defense attorneys an open hand.
ammunition. And hey, that's due process. Everybody has a right to a good defense, but you don't need to help people out like that.
Right, exactly.
So, a few days ago, I'm not going to mention the creator. There's 2 of them spreading this, and it's wildfire. Okay. Little Summer has been missing for 7 months. There are no credible tips. We know who can give a credible tip. We know who can. And this could have been over June 15th. But here we are. And I am not trying to make anybody feel silly or put down their theory, or even if they believe this. I just think we should discuss this because it makes no sense. And we're going to talk about what makes more sense. Hey, Clark here makes sense. Did we hear anything from the Wells about their daughter on the 7-month anniversary, or just a video about some woman? Just a video about some woman. That's what we got there. Yep.
Not even her own parents could acknowledge the 7-month anniversary,
No, they're busy. They're busy. Nope. Got a new litter of dogs. They got YouTubers to talk to.
Got new rumors to run with.
They got all kinds of stuff going on. So, what has been said? Summer went missing on the 15th, as we know. And that she was basically sacrificed to a boy at the church. Always got to bring the church in, don't we? Whether you're for church or against church, you think their religion's weird, you think it's a cult, either way, let's just talk about this. She was killed for her organs because he needed an organ transplant. All right. I don't know how many of you in here, hopefully no one's had to have an organ transplant. Crystal's in here, and she said that her son has had one, so she knows what's up. Hang on one second. I'm kidding. My uncle was diagnosed with leukemia in 2012. Okay, so he has 4 younger brothers and a sister. They tested every one of them for bone marrow. His kids, I want to say his oldest grandson, anyone they could get a hold of, they tested. And that was just for bone marrow. Now, when we're talking about taking an organ out of one human being and putting it in another, that's extensive testing. And the only reason I didn't just dismiss this is because people are calling the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation to tell them about it. They've been looking for Elijah, Emily, and Christopher all weekend. They've been looking for Summer since June. And you're calling them with this theory. Oh my God, this rumor. Mama Kay, who needed the organ? They said a boy at the church. They said the surgery was done June 18th. And that I asked point blank. I said, well, what team of surgeons did they pay off? Because when you're talking about an organ transplant, you're not talking about the surgeon that takes out your appendix or the surgeon that resets a bone. Not that they're not very skilled, very educated, and very important. Normally, you're talking a team of surgeons. There's a lot going on with that. They said, oh, David Dotson could have done it because he's a mortician. Oh, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. So I asked, what hospital will I get the runaround? Then I asked, how did they know the blood type? How did they know it was a match?
Right.
Oh, it's very popular. It happens every day. Really? Well, that's what Candace said, too, about kids being taken out of their home every day.
Yeah.
So if this happened, and that's a big O if, okay? I'm using that very sarcastically. The little boy that got Summer's, I've heard I've heard liver, and I've heard kidney, would have to have all kinds of follow-up care, a long hospitalization, and he would be on medication so that his body doesn't reject the organ. So this would have been about a 2-minute investigation for the TBI. Okay,
Right.
who's refilling his medication? There's
Mhm.
often complications with things like this. So you go to the ER, you got to tell them where you got the transplant from.
Yep. And also, children's organs can be donated if they are, terminally ill, or if they're about to die, or the parents make a decision at that point that their organs can be donated if they're a match or whatever. But they don't take organs out of healthy children and then give them to other children. They only take organs at the point where the child's not going to live. It's not a quick decision like, oh, we'll just take the organs out of that child and put it in that child. It doesn't work like that.
No, it's a very complex, something that I could never wrap my mind around. Okay.
It's
Something I
horrific.
could never wrap my mind around. Spicy Lady said, got to be monitored for rejection. Yeah.
Right.
So how deep does this web go? Celeste, that's what I want to know. Did they perform the surgery in the church's kitchen? I'm afraid to ask because I'm going to hear yes. Yeah. People are calling the TBI. Another YouTuber called Hawkins County. Just a heads up that you're going to start getting a lot of phone calls. The woman that answered, you know what she said? We're well aware. We're already getting the calls.
I can't believe that people are taking up the time of the TBI, knowing that they had at the time when this started, they had 3 other missing children or 2 other missing children to look for. And they've got to now take time to investigate stupid YouTube rumors again. Sorry, I said stupid. That's me being judgmental. That's my opinion.
And like, I'm not trying to shame anybody because I'm telling you what, you listen to some of these shows, which I don't do. You listen to some of these shows and you get sucked in. You're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. But, you got to step back and go, how the hell did that happen?
Right.
How
exactly.
the hell did that happen? And it's insanity. Like I said, my uncle, he was going to MD Anderson down in Houston very often, still has to go, even though he's in remission.
Yeah.
And what they had to go, you can't just throw, this isn't replacing a fuel filter on a fucking car, okay?
Right. Exactly.
This is organ transplantation.
I get that people in the chat are asking, like, are people really that gullible? But this is how things have gone all the way through this case. People hear things on one YouTube channel, then go around all the other YouTube channels repeating it as fact. And then, like this, for example, this was spoken about in a comment thread the other day. And I was like, Summer was not sold for her organs to be harvested. And someone actually asked me, how do you know? So I had to use my brain and just say, I know. Isn't that amazing that I know these things? Like, I just can't with it. It's just too weird. You can't even, I don't even know what has to go wrong in your head for you to listen to that and not ask yourself questions about it, but just go repeat it like it's fact.
Yeah, supposedly this was for $56,000 so he could pay back the cartel. The
Right.
cartel does not exist.
The cartel
organ harvesting does not exist.
Exactly. The cartel was always a load of rubbish. There was no debt to the cartel. That was a rumor that was started by him to put the idea out there that possibly she may have been taken for money or whatever. It's just a load of rubbish.
And the child they're talking about, look, they wouldn't have had that type of money to pay them. And no. We got to get back to the beginning. All right. 3 people were in charge of Summer. Okay.
Yep. 3 people who had knowledge about what happened on that day. 3. And I don't understand why it's so hard for people to believe that the 3 people in that house have done something brutal. They find that really hard to believe. and yet they're ready to run with rumors about organ harvesting, and like that's not more disturbing than the truth, which is disturbing enough.
Oh, I 100% agree. But it gets wilder and wilder. This happened with the Gannon Staunch case. Okay, Letitia was in jail for murder because Colorado Bureau of Investigation, they charged her circumstantially pretty early on. Okay,
Right.
But there was no body.
Right.
Gannon, they didn't have Gannon.
No.
A group of DOT workers came across his body in a suitcase. In the meantime, we were hearing he'd been sold, and then we got to the organ theory.
Wow.
Okay, Evelyn
People's minds
Boswell.
really go there. Go on.
Evelyn Boswell, they said the same thing. You know, Maggie's in jail for lying to the police, and they're like, oh, she was sold. And then here comes the organ theory. It comes up in almost every case when it gets to a point that people run out of things to talk about because they don't know how to discuss what's really going on. And they put this stuff out there. Yeah, dirty things happen. I get it. People have been sold for their organs. I get it. They have. Look at June 15th and what led up to it.
Right.
Yeah, there's a black market.
Right.
You're honestly telling me that you think somebody at this is, where'd they get the surgeons? Who's doing the follow-up care? Who's prescribing the anti-rejection? This is nuts. If you want to believe it, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just telling you, it makes no sense. Summer was neglected and abused for months and months and months. CPS was on to them. They've taken 3 other children. This would be so easy to crack. All you got to do is go to the little boy that they're saying has her liver.
Yep. Yeah, look at where he had the surgery done, who performed the surgery. That's that theory out the window then, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to take them long to, if they even do investigate it, because it's so random. I'm Kevin, by the way, today. Hi, Amethyst. It's not going to take them long to...
Kevin's off today. We think he went to meet up with Candace.
Kevin's in the chat. Hi, Kevin.
Kevin, how's Candace doing?
But seriously, though, it wouldn't take them long, would it, to figure that out, to go to the hospital where that little boy had his surgery, even if they even bother to check it out, because I'm sure they're thinking it's as ridiculous as what I do right now. But they'll go to the hospital, speak to the surgeons that performed the operation. That's that rumour done and dusted, cleared up. No organ harvesting. You know, it's not difficult to find that out.
Wouldn't take long. Wouldn't take long because they're pinpointing who the child is. So wouldn't be hard to find out if he recently had surgery.
Right.
And June is pretty recent. That's a major surgery. Then they're like, oh, they only needed part of her liver.
Really?
I don't care if they needed her piggy toe.
Right.
Come on.
They're gonna slaughter one child to take the organs to put in another child. Think about that. Just please think about how little sense that makes and how difficult that procedure would be and how much testing and, you know, all of that kind of stuff that both of those children would have had to have gone through over months and months to make sure they were a match, to make sure there was no blood complications, etc., etc., etc. Summer wasn't getting that kind of attention off doctors,
no.
off anyone.
No.
Exactly. It is disgusting to watch for anyone that's had a loved one that's donated their organs or has received an organ donation.
Right. Alicia, she said, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying it's not likely in this case.
Right.
That's what I'm saying too.
Right. Same.
I'm talking about this case with Summer. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Dirty, dirty things are done. And yes, people have been killed for their organs. I don't know how it's done because you got to see a doctor at some point. You have to go to the ER at some point because you're going to have a complication sometime down the road. How do you explain where you got the organ?
And I mean, I shouldn't imagine it's that rampant in America. It's certainly not that rampant here. It's not rampant in first world countries, really. It's much more, that stuff much more likely happens in underdeveloped countries where they don't have money for healthcare and, or they have state provision for healthcare or whatever. They, you know, there are countries where people are killed regularly, more regularly than here, for their organs, but I don't think America's one of them.
There was a ring back in the 80s in Las Vegas, and like people were like waking up in bathtubs full of ice with a kidney cut out. All right. Well, it didn't take long to crack the ring.
Right.
At all. Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just telling you, I think we need to go back to what the case is really about. And what the case is really about is Summer Wells, how she was treated at home, and how she got gone.
Right. And there's 3 people involved in that. There's not 3 surgeons or 3 traffickers or 3. It's 3 adults in that household. They're the ones that you and Kevin and this channel's been focusing on since day one. You know, there's a lot of other people talking about a lot of other people, but we've never really moved past the 3 most obvious people in that respect, have we?
Nope. And they have their cell phones. They went through everything. If there was some kind of, even with a burner phone, that's easy. I mean, they, you know, Chad and Lori Daybell, they had burner phones. It took a little bit longer, but they got to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And basically what they suspected was the truth. With Gannon Staunch, what they charged Letitia with and what they suspected was the truth. They didn't imagine it being as bad as what it turned out to be. Evelyn Boswell, what they suspected was the truth. It came to light. So, I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, if this is true, I don't see how it is. I don't see how it is.
It's not true. I'll put my my reputation on the line. I'm saying it's not true.
No.
In my opinion, obviously I can't speak for anyone else, but in my opinion, it's not true. And I think it's a load of rubbish. In fact, as Kevin would say, I think it's all bullshit.
Bullshit. But to sit there and call the TBI because you heard a rumor on YouTube.
And that's not the first time that's happened either.
No. No.
I can't imagine what it must be like working for the TBI. I'd be bashing my head against a wall like 24 hours a day if I was working for the TBI right now. The crazy stuff that people phone up with.
Jam 420. Candace is so darn moody, could have lost her temper. That's what I've always thought.
Yeah.
She something went down that day and she had to do some recon real fast. Candace also has 2 children that were abused and raised by the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
She has 3 sons that are being raised by the state of Tennessee right now. So, I mean, connect the dots. Yep. Connect the dots.
Children didn't get taken away from her because she was a loving, kind mother who gave them and provided them with everything they needed, did they? Children got removed for a reason.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't because it was too dangerous at the house.
Right.
If it's dangerous for the boys, it's dangerous for them.
Right.
There's a couple of other cases. Most recent that I can remember is Kelly Long. All the online crazies, because of Michael's false allegations, they were after her. It was not safe for her to be in her home. No. Her children, I believe her mother, all had to be put in a hotel room with police constantly monitoring it because of the threats being made to her.
Yeah.
So she was put in protective custody.
Right. And so would they have been if it was that dangerous up at that house?
They certainly would have. They certainly would have, because they haven't been charged with anything.
Yeah, still not been cleared though, 7 months later, which I find really interesting. How usually the first people that they try to clear of any wrongdoing in the case of a missing child is the parents, and they'll go move heaven and earth to clear the parents because they want to focus on who the real perpetrators are in the crime. And have the parents in this case been cleared 7 months later?
Nope.
No,
no one has.
Exactly.
Nope. The last real update we had.
Didn't think that, sorry, go on.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I was going to say, if they really seriously didn't think that there was any evidence against them or any reason to suspect them, they would have come out and they would have done a press conference, as they've done in other cases, for example, Michael Vaughan, and said, we don't believe the parents had anything to do with this. We're now looking for an abductor or a suspect or etc. But they haven't done that in this case, and it's 7 months later.
Seven months. So much. Yeah. 7 months. Versi said, so much being said, I don't know what to believe. And that's the reason we're going to go back to the beginning this week. We're going to talk about the first 2 days.
Yep.
The first 2 days.
Everything happened on that first day. There's nothing that gets said or done now that has any impact or bearing on what happened on June the 15th to Summer Wells. Nothing that they say now, nothing that they do now in the present time has any bearing on that day. What happened on that day happened. That's the truth. So whatever happened on that day is the truth. Nothing they say now about cartels and all of this rubbish makes any difference to the truth. The truth stands as it is.
Crazy
so
cat
it's really
lady.
important.
Crazy cat lady said, I personally think she didn't make it home that day. I don't think she did either.
No.
And I have lots of reasons. We're going to discuss that later in the week. We're going to talk about the first 48 hours and why I think she did not make it back home.
No, I don't think she did either. I've never seen any evidence, really, that she made it home that day.
Try to smile said, can you see me? Yep, we can see you.
Hey.
We can see you. Wanda, you're right. It gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Discuss the facts as we know them and can understand them. Right. One big fact is the deflection. Let's talk about this, gang. Why would parents of a missing child ever have more than one story?
Because they're trying to throw us off the scent that they were involved. But the thing is, we're not that stupid.
We're going to talk more about the dispatch call tomorrow because it goes further in depth where they say that Candace took a walk and 10 minutes later, Summer was gone. Yet we don't have 10 minutes missing from Candace's day. We have a few hours.
Yeah. At least 3 hours unaccounted for in that timeline.
Yep. And like Alicia said, distraction. It's distraction. Here's the thing, the biggest thing missing in this case. Okay. And I don't mean from you guys. I don't mean from this community.
No.
I mean from it as a whole. Summer. Summer's missing from this case.
Yeah.
Celeste. If there is abuse in the home, stats say, abused by the mother of children that die. 70, at the mother's hand. Who was she with all day? And that's just a stat. We're not accusing anybody.
Right. That's what I mean about the truth is horrific enough. The rumors and the deflections and the distractions, hard as it is, they're kind of worse than and the truth is disgusting. Probably worse than we could think. But to add all of this other business on top, cartels and organ harvesting and all of this kind of stuff, all it does is allow the suspects or the persons of interest to get away with embellishment and get away with distracting us because they know that we're all talking about organ harvesting, for example. It just gives them an out, and I don't think we should be giving them an out.
Nope. Amanda said, why would parents of a missing child not be on TV or social media, YouTube, crying, begging for their child back? They have not begged for her return at all. Well, I hope they bring her back.
I think she's far away. I'll see her in the resurrection.
I hope she's with a rich family that are taking care of her.
Yeah. Nothing like that would happen. Not on my watch. Not if I was around.
Oh yeah, you weren't around, right, Candace? You took a walk. You took a walk. Right. So what are you doing? Are you doing like Megan Boswell and you're trying to blame your mother? Not saying anyone is innocent in this. Just kind of wondering where you're going with that, because I think you studied some other cases to get ready for your big day. The other Sharon, if she passed, why wouldn't the dogs pick it up? Because I don't think she passed there.
Neither do I. I don't think she passed in the car either, because they would have been all over that car.
And like I said, TBI, have recovered to safety 3 children over the weekend. They had credible tips.
Mm-hmm. And they can do their job. You know, the TBI aren't some dysfunctional agency that have chosen to find at least 3 other, if not 5 other children in the time that Summer's been missing. You know, and are not focusing on Summer. For goodness sake, you know, at the end of the day, they want to find all missing children. They don't just sit there twiddling their thumbs when it comes to Summer. They don't have any credible information. They don't have any credible information because people keep calling them up with stupid stuff like she had her organs harvested, you know. We have to try and make their job a bit easier for them, not more difficult and more complicated than it already is.
Well, Evelyn Boswell, people were calling the TBI saying that she had been sold to gypsies.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Hence, the whole time, she was dead by the hands of her mother, who's going on trial in front of a judge and a jury in September. Right. Trinity, I bet if his tools got gone, he'd look harder for those. Huh. If you stole from Dawn, hell hath no fury. He'd be all over it.
Right.
He'd be all over it.
He'd probably go to prison for beating up the person that took his tools. I mean, what was the first thing he did when he heard, apparently, according to him, when he heard that Summer got gone, he threw his tools in his Subaru and drove home. I mean, you know, the first thing you're going to do is worry about your tools, right, when your daughter's missing.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because I've mentioned that several times over the last,
7 months.
7 months. I can't believe I'm saying that. 7 months.
Yeah.
Who the hell gathers up their shit to go home? You wouldn't even think about it. You should be like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna load up my tools. And no, who cares about your tools?
Exactly.
My daughter's missing. You don't need your tools to find her. You're not gonna go home and drywall. You're not going home to spackle. You don't need your tools. Even if they did steal them, who cares? You got to go find your daughter.
Exactly. Tools will be the last thing on your mind.
Ridiculous. Katrina, you're right. You don't have to be rich to love a child. Right. No, money and love are no. Have nothing to do with each other. Nothing. No, you can't buy love. No. Doesn't work.
Nothing else is. Everything else is replaceable. You know, tools are replaceable. Houses are replaceable. Cars are replaceable. Your children are not replaceable. You know, your life is not replaceable. I just don't understand why anyone would prioritize anything else above their children.
Nope. If you get a call, I got a call one time. I was at the grocery store and I was doing like 2 weeks worth of shopping. Okay. A huge cart full of stuff. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the boys couldn't find our dog. Yeah. Grabbed my purse, left the cart. I wasn't like, well, let me check out and I'll get home. Boom, out the door and got home. She came home, we found her. And then here we're talking about your daughter. Right. And you pack up your tools and drive home?
Yep. Obviously.
Yeah. And like Alexander said, when my child had an accident at school, I left the house and locked myself out. I was in such a rush. That's what we do. That's what we do when we care. It's not about who's the better parent. When you actually care, nothing else matters. You're on the way. Mm-hmm. They're on the way.
Hey, you don't stop and pack up your tools. That's ridiculous.
No, they're deceptive. They've given us nothing but deflection and bullshit left and right. And I'm not saying Candace, but Dawn loves the attention.
Yep.
Eats it up.
Yeah, and he's going to run with this. No. He'll be running with this organ story next, I bet you.
And okay, Bullhorn Betty said they've done nothing to aid in the search of their daughter. No. And let me tell you something. I haven't seen any of them pop in here yet. When we started talking about this on June 16th, we had a lot of locals coming in and out. And there were people out of their own pocket, okay, that were going to Sam's Club, Costco, whatever. This one lady, I mean, she filled up her Tahoe full of Gatorade, water bottles, beef jerky, anything she could get her hands on to make sure that the people that were in search and rescue had nourishments, water, Gatorade and stuff like that. He didn't even thank them.
No, much less
hundreds of dollars.
Right.
One lady, I think it's Muscles and Mascara. When she was talking about, and this was very early on, she went and bought a printer. She went and bought a printer, paper, the whole 9 yards, printed out hundreds of flyers.
Yeah.
Walked anywhere, anything that was standing still to put up flyers.
Yeah.
There's many locals, if they see a flyer that is, it's been rained on or whatever, they go put another one up.
Yeah.
These people aren't going to lie to me.
No.
Melissa, Don said searches wasted their time. They wasted Don's time. They damn sure wasted his time.
They didn't even like the fact that the helicopters were flying above the house because it was keeping them awake on the night that Summer disappeared. I mean, who complains about stuff like that? And then to not only just complain about it, but then to actually blame people and say, well, she's not been found because these people won't help us. The community won't help us. YouTube won't help us. You know, you don't even appreciate it when people do walk the streets putting up flyers for your daughter. You don't go out there yourself doing this stuff.
No. Kevin said, Brooks, why would Don pack up his tools? Because when I did drywall, we left our tools on the job site until the job was done. I doubt he even packed up his tools unless he was just trying to kill time. Or, you know, just like, here's the thing with Don. Don always has to have an answer, and he always wants to look more credible. So he throws in little tidbits of bullshit like, I had to pack up my tools. No, you didn't have to pack up your tools. No parent in their right mind with a missing child would get their tools first. No, you're hightailing it. You're hightailing it. Yep. Katrina, I got a call from Corpus Christi police and the school telling me that my daughter was last seen by an alligator. Police were at my door in minutes. Well, yeah, the police were right on this too. Police were right on this too. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. But where's it gotten us? Nowhere. You know why? I'm not saying they don't have a lot of evidence, and I'm not saying they're not working this case. I'm not saying that at all. Without full cooperation of the adults that had eyes on her that day, and credible tips, there is nothing to go off of. I think they have a lot. I think they have a lot. I think what they want is Summer. I think they really want to give her a final resting place.
I hope they do. More than anything, that's what I want to be the outcome. I mean, I don't think it's going to have a good outcome, let's put it that way. But I want her to be able to be laid to rest and for, you know, there to be a proper burial for her, because she deserved better than what she had in her life, and she deserves a better ending.
Well, and we talk about, she does deserve it. She certainly does. She deserved better parents. She deserved a better grandmother.
Yeah.
And, you know, we also have, you know, Candace, when she was talking to Chris McDonough, she can't give you a time, even though she's on that damn phone all the time.
Yeah, of course. She doesn't know the time except for the time that it took her to fix her mother's knee brace. And yeah, she knows that was 2 minutes. She knows certain points of time, but she doesn't know any of the time outside of her script time, which is the time that it took her to fix the knee brace, walk down to the basement, 20 minutes of searching. She knows that time, but ask her a question about any other time outside of that rehearsed script, and she doesn't have a clue.
Nope, but she can tell you she told the dispatchers, now she changed her story later, that she took a walk. Obviously, she didn't tell Dawn or Grandis that was the story she fed them.
Right.
Now, unless it came from Dawn, I don't know. There's only one story. But in this one, we have different stories.
Yeah.
So we knew that the walk that she took was 10 minutes. We knew she told Allie she searched the dungeon for 20 minutes. But the rest of the day, she doesn't have any accountability of time.
Not at all. Not at all. And that's why I know that that story that she tells about the flowers and all of that rubbish is a script that was either fed to her or she made it up herself, whichever, because she knows all of those details really clearly. But anything outside of that, she changes, makes up as she goes along, adds to, takes away from, deflects from, etc. So I don't believe the planting flowers story either.
No, especially when she, sprinkled in, they went and washed their hands. We know they didn't wash shit.
Yeah.
Dodo Dixon, does anyone know why body cam and dash cam footage has not been released? I'd love to see the body language from the first police contact. I'd love to see it too, and I think they're saving it for later. I think they're going to save it for when they get charges put out there, or possibly save it for the jury. They do that a lot of times too.
Yeah, I was thinking that. That's why they haven't released the 911 calls. They released the dispatch, but they haven't released the actual calls, and I think that's because they're keeping it for the jury, I guess.
Well, they're going to have to. I mean, already there's so much information out there that doesn't amount to a hill of beans.
Right. Nothing. And because there's been so much kind of damage done to the integrity of the investigation along the way by certain people.
Well, we got spoiled back in like the 90s and 2000s, even like, around, 2010, because I mean, law enforcement, I mean, they would give, daily updates.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, my gosh, the OJ case. Hell, we knew about the glove. We knew a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They quit doing that. They will not do it because, well, it creates a bad outcome, and it's a circus. It's a circus on its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I have faith and I have patience, just like Clark. They are building a case. There is no reason that they want Elijah found, Emily found, and Christopher found over the weekend, but they don't give a damn about Summer.
Right.
There's no reason.
Exactly. There was no reason why they would have looked for Noah Claire and his cousin and found them, but they don't want to look for Summer. That doesn't even make sense. It just goes to show that they are working because they find these other children. They don't have anything against Summer.
No. And like Staff Grabber said, when this case blows open, your minds will explode. Oh, you better believe it, because it does in every case. It does in every single case. When the documents start coming out, like the arrest affidavit, and you see what they were doing behind the scenes, you're like, whoa. Wow.
Yeah. It will blow our minds, but it won't blow our minds to the point of organ harvesting being part of it. I'll lay money on that right now.
That would have been solved very easy if a child had an organ transplant in East Tennessee, June 18th. There would be follow-up care, a long hospitalization. No.
Nope.
Do people do nasty things with organs? They do, but we're talking about that stuff is somebody's got to go see a doctor at some point, and it's figured out really quick.
Yeah. And it's not a regular occurrence. Like I said earlier, it's not it might happen, but it's certainly not something that happens every day all around the world, like children going missing in Tennessee, for example, or all around the world. It's not a popular pastime.
Michelle said, wonder how many players are in this. Everyone is still a suspect. That tells me a lot. And Lisa, you're right. Sometimes when there's not enough evidence, they call for a grand jury to decide if they should arrest someone. It's probably going to get to that. I'm glad you brought that up. Because like with Megan Boswell, they were like, they put it in front of a grand jury and they said, oh yeah, there's enough here. There's enough here.
So is that, because I don't think that happens over here. Is that, so that would be like a circumstantial case. They believed it was circumstantial, and then they would take it to a group of people like a jury, and they would decide if there was enough evidence or something.
They take it to a grand jury and they decide if there's enough to prosecute, and then they go forward with it, and it's sealed.
Okay. That was just from my understanding, because that doesn't happen here. So it's quite interesting.
It is. It definitely is. But I mean, I'm not seeing anything where they're not working this case.
Right.
I mean, my goodness. When we talk about the dispatch tomorrow, we're going to hear, they were already getting a search and rescue team together, like within 30 minutes of getting the call from Miss I Like to Take a Walk.
Oh, yeah, right. She walks everywhere, can't you tell? It's like one of those yummy mummies, like doing yoga in the park and like power walking and stuff.
Tiffany, have the TBI checked Don's job site? Oh, I'm sure they've checked everything. I can't believe what the people that have come forward and they've, talked about what the TBI has asked them, what they've checked, and so on. But they're not going to tell us.
The TBI aren't going to tell us. But I should imagine. I mean, they have told us that they've searched everything several times. That was on their last update that the TBI put out, that they've looked into absolutely everything that we've thought of. They've looked into it. There's nothing that we've thought of as a, true crime community that they have not looked into. So, yeah, I believe they will have searched that site, and probably more than once,
Yep, Lisa, grand jury helped decide some things in the Daybell case. Yep, grand juries are very important.
Okay.
Very important. And the deception started the night of the 15th. Of course, we heard about the 10-minute walk. Then it changed to planting flowers. We went from a 10-minute walk, and 10 minutes later she was gone, to planting flowers, knee brace, wash hands. 2 minutes later she was gone. That right there, huge. The way she described, and it could only come from Candace, what Summer had on. There's really not a lot of description there.
Well, they gave the wrong photo as well to the for the Amber Alert in the first place. It wasn't a current photo of Summer.
Right. But I mean, a pink t-shirt. I mean, just say plain pink t-shirt.
Right.
I mean, most children, when they have a t-shirt on, it's got something on it.
A pattern on it or something, yeah.
Right. Got some kind of pattern. I mean, is it, like it's summertime. Is it, a tank top, or is it just a plain pink t-shirt? I mean, you have to be descriptive, especially if there was some kind of print on it.
Yeah, because if everyone's looking for a child in a pink t-shirt with a Paw Patrol logo or something on it, that's different to looking for a child in a pink t-shirt, just a plain pink t-shirt on.
Okay, Rach, who knows? And this comes up a lot. In my opinion, also believe she went gone the day before the 15th. A lot of people say this. I just want to know how you would get Allie and Hunter and Allie's grandma to agree to saying that you saw her alive on the 15th.
Yeah.
But then we go back to everyone is still a suspect. Everyone is still a suspect. Nothing with this would surprise me except the organ harvesting and the okay.
Yeah, that's a conspiracy theory too far for me.
And it comes up in every case.
I found that quite strange. I mean, I hadn't followed either of those other cases that you were talking about earlier, but I find it really bizarre that that's where people's minds go to when they don't have anything left to imagine or think about, I guess. Like three different cases, this has been what people have been saying. It's just, I don't really know what has to go wrong in your head to believe stuff like that.
Right. And as far as her going missing the day before, I really think that they would have changed the day she went missing by now.
Yeah, I do as well, because we haven't heard about the outcome of the CCTV and all of that from the stores and the car and all of those kind of places. But I should imagine they know that she went missing that day. They've said it. The TBI have said it. She was last seen at her home in the early afternoon or during the day on June the 15th. So, they would have changed it by now if they didn't think it happened the day before. Whatever the TBI say, they're not going to be feeding us false information like she was seen at her house on June the 15th to keep on saying that if they actually believe that she went missing the day before or had evidence that she went missing the day before. They're not going to tell us lies.
And I truly believe that, because they've been begging for credible tips since June 15th. I mean, begging for credible tips. So if she actually could have gone missing on the 14th, they would say, game changer here, guys.
Absolutely.
Who saw her on the 14th?
Yeah, exactly.
Or the 13th.
Yeah.
Or the 12th.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be sticking with the 15th.
No. The TBI certainly wouldn't be sticking with the 15th if she went missing on the 14th and they had evidence of that. No way. They're not going to mislead everybody because they're looking for a 5-year-old child. It's not something they're going to make jokes about or pretend not to know, you know. We know it was June the 15th.
Amalu, it's because people have nothing else to believe, so they let their minds go down rabbit holes. That is sick. It is sick, and it doesn't help Summer.
No.
It doesn't help Summer. We know crazy things happen in this world. We know they do. And we're told really fast and really quick, hey, this is what's going on, because those things don't take too long to figure out. We are 7 months out. 7 months out. You know, and CPS was breathing down their necks. CPS was breathing down their necks. Again, there is a reason Don had to have that Subaru that day. Not because he's paying $600 a month for it. He had to be seen that day. He wanted to stand out. I've said before, when we all go to work, you recognize all the cars. You see a strange car, you're like, hey, did someone get a new car? Or who's here? What's going on? You recognize when it's something like, say you live in an apartment complex. You're pretty much used to all the cars around you. You see a different car. It's like, oh, you're going to recognize it. Those things jump out.
Exactly.
Let me see. I missed a comment. Bullhorn Betty said, Candace has no story. Dawn, the one that wasn't there, is the one who knows it all. Doesn't make sense. Nope, my friend, none of it makes sense. And I mean none of it. None of it. When I was told about this story June 16th, I was doing another show. Crime Time told me about it. And I started looking right then, and I was looking at all the news articles. And I see Candace Bly fighting with people. You guys realize that the next morning, she said that she was doing dishes and Summer walked out barefoot. But then Dawn talks to Jeff Bobo on the 18th and he says they were planting flowers. So with all of your time you had to get ready for the 15th, how come you three geniuses didn't develop one story and stick between
to it? They spent that whole interview. There was so many criticisms of each other. So one, like for example, why they cut her hair. They couldn't even tell the same story about that, and they were sat right next to each other at the time. This is what I said earlier about what happened that day is the truth and nothing else matters, because it doesn't really matter what stories they've told us since June the 15th. It matters what they told the TBI at the time that Summer disappeared happened. We don't know that necessarily because the TBI haven't directly told us, but that's going to be closer to some kind of truth than what they're saying now.
Yep. And hang on, I missed a comment. You're exactly right, Kat. You are exactly right. I missed it. Someone said, I'm not shutting down any possibility till she is found. Well, look at the possibility of the facts that we have, which all go back to her parents and what they've said. Dawn has laughed in the face of TBI. They don't have shit. They're never going to find her. They don't have any evidence. I talk to them all the time. They don't have nothing. They don't have shit. Well, they're not going to tell you, and they're not going to tell us. Do you know why? Because they have to present it to a jury.
Exactly.
If people already know the evidence, they're going to form an opinion before they get there. You can't have that.
No. It's already going to taint the jury pool. This is, that's why they're not putting this information out. Can I just quickly address a comment in the chat, please, Brooks?
Sure.
So Luca Vega is saying about the organ harvesting thing, and they tried to keep her. Why did they try to keep her body cold? Well, let's put it this way: they didn't try to keep her body cold. They put her in a hot car, in a fully dressed on tracksuit. In the middle of summer, it would have been at least 80 degrees in that car with the windows up. It probably would have been more like 100 degrees in that car. So they weren't trying to keep her body cold at all. I'm sorry.
Nope. If you want to keep her body
I'm beyond it with this organ harvesting theory. I'm actually beyond it now. They weren't trying to keep her body cold.
Okay, Luca, let me ask you this. What team of surgeons did this? Where is the follow-up care for the little boy? How was this paid for? How? It doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's not true.
I agree.
It doesn't make sense. Just
Kind of
this is
seems like,
not helping Summer. This is not
right,
helping Summer. It's helping Dawn and Candace.
right. I agree.
Yeah, we're trying to piece it together, and we piece it together by what we know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the time gap on the 15th, if all they were doing was dropping her off for an organ transplant, they would be able to account for several hours of that day. Something else was going on.
I find it's quite interesting that this person keeps on addressing me with these comments when they know full well that I don't agree with that theory at all. And that we've spent the whole of the first part of this show discussing why that theory does not make sense. And yet the conversation is still being pointed at me to go look at the foundation at the vigil and all of that kind of stuff. Like Brian Callis has doctors on his team. Like,
oh, yeah. Enough with that. Well, then, you know
exactly.
what? This will be done today. Since everyone's been blowing up the TBI in Hawkins County over the weekend, they know exactly who to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for an update on WJHL.
Right. And in the meantime, please don't try and gaslight me into having to answer these ridiculous questions. I've already made my point. You know exactly how I feel about it. I've said it on many occasions, how I feel about this organ harvesting thing. So please stop trying to gaslight me, because it's just not going to work.
Well, and not to mention, I mean, like Grandma T, she said, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. Me too. Don't even get me going on John Kennedy. But organ harvesting is not in this case. It's bad enough we have SA, abuse, and neglect. Yeah,
yep.
Exactly.
The truth is much worse.
They knew they had to produce her on the 16th for CPS. They knew it. That's not a good day, the day before, to be selling her for organs.
Hell no.
Ridiculous. Not going to talk about it again. If you believe it, I'm not here to change your mind. This community, we're not going to talk about it anymore.
I agree. Thank you.
It takes months to get a match. It takes a team of surgeons. You have the child that received the organ that would probably be in the hospital for a good month, have serious aftercare, anti-rejection medicine, complications that would require a visit to the ER, and you got to explain where you got the spare part.
Right. Well, we'll let the people with those ideas figure that one out for themselves. Because to be honest, I can't help people with that anymore. Because, like we say, we've said, we've done, one and done. We've said what we think, and we said, you know, the ins and outs of it all, and yet still being asked the question, why is this not possible? Maybe go think about it for yourself and figure it out. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, sorry, Brooks.
We're not here to change your mind. We're not here to change your mind, but we're just not going to entertain this stuff. Just not going to entertain it. Just like I didn't entertain it with Evelyn Boswell. Just like I didn't entertain it with Breasia Terrell. Just like I didn't entertain it with Gannon Staunch.
Right.
There's other, JJ and Tylee. I didn't entertain it. Guess what it came down to? Child abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And that is sick enough. That is sick enough.
Yeah.
Haley said, I would be totally interested on hearing your theories on Kennedy. Girl, you better clear 3 days, because that's going to be a long show.
Wow. Do you need me to make a thumbnail, Brooks?
I don't know.
AJ Glam, hey. I hope you're feeling better.
So we're going back to the beginning. We're going to talk about the dispatch call tomorrow. Now, guys, I'm going to have to go to the dentist. So if I have to change the time of the show, look at the community tab, okay?
Okay.
Because I had a root canal, and I'm waiting to get the permanent, and the temporary broke. So I got to get that fixed. Because, you know, toothless is not a good look for me.
Oh, I can relate, Brooks.
Drives me insane.
Yeah, I hope you get an appointment quick.
Oh, I will as soon as I call him. I could probably go in today, but I just got to figure out what's going on. So like I said, tomorrow we're going to talk in depth about the dispatch and the changing stories. Again, back to the beginning. We're going to talk more about Harmony Montgomery because there's some updates in her case. this week. We're also going to talk about the first 48, and that's the first 48 hours of Summer's case, which is extremely important.
Yeah.
And it does not lead anywhere to the cartels.
Right. Most important. The first 48 hours, the most important information that's around in this case.
Yep. Well, in the meantime, Kat, I'm going to send you off to have your birthday. We are going to watch a video for Summer because, like I said, Saturday was 7 months. And I always have a hard time watching videos about Summer because she did not deserve this.
Yeah, I agree.
So hold on. I'm going to put the video up real quick.
Okay.
Oh. Summer is what's important.
Yeah, that was a lovely video.
Are you okay, Kat?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
I know. I've been so emotional the last week. I don't know. Well, since Kevin's birthday, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Michelle, you're right. We will not stop.
No, we won't.
Nope. And Betty, you're right. The community once stood with the Wells, and nope, they do not. But there's a lot of people in the community that they were standing with Summer and law enforcement and always side-eyed Dawn and Candace. They just weren't going to come. It's different when it's your own community. It's like you have your own thoughts, but you're not going to come out and say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we won't stop.
Nope. And the community has been very, very involved. And, and God bless them because they have to live with this every single day. And they are a lot nicer people than me because I'd be screaming from the rooftop. There is a murderer in our community. Go get him now.
Right. Who made the video, Brooks?
Yes, I did.
Did you make it?
I did.
That's awesome. Well done. Like, seriously, that's great. You should put it on your channel.
I will. I'll put it up. I was going to put it up over the weekend, but I wanted to save it for you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Because we need to keep Summer in the forefront.
Yeah.
Not the fucks that failed her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Kat, I love you to pieces. Thank you for everything you do, especially being such a wonderful friend.
You're welcome.
And I hope you have the best birthday ever.
I'm going out for Greek food now with my best friend. So, yeah, I'm sure it'll be great.
Well, have some for me because I love Greek food.
Oh, yeah, me too. I can't wait. Thank you, everyone in chat, for the birthday wishes as well. Thank you very much, Brooks, for having me on your channel. It's been great.
All right, my friend. I will talk to you right after this. You have a great birthday, okay?
Okay, honey. Talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.
Happy birthday.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
All right, guys. On that note, I know it's really hard to see videos of summer. We got to remember summer. We got to remember summer. Got to remember summer. And again, we have a show tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If I need to change it for an appointment, you'll see it on the community tab. Some of you have been asking about how to become a member. You can find that on the channel. If not, here, I'll put up the link. And some of you have been asking about coming into Discord. Send me an email at cll72020@gmail.com. I'll get you a link and you come in. People hear the word Discord and they think it's just a bunch of cat fights in there. No pun intended to our birthday girl that was just on panel. It's chill. It's cool. Everybody gets along. We've had a few stranglers come in there and we have to get rid of them real quick. Doesn't take too long to figure it out. And we don't just talk about cases. We talk about football, vacations, our pets, food, all kinds of stuff. So in the meantime, yep, Lady Justice, love our Discord family. Do not put up with that BS. We got no time for it. Send me an email. We'll get you into Discord. Don't forget, we have a Facebook page that's updated often. So run over to Facebook and give it a like. We have several Facebook groups. And you guys are the best community on YouTube. You are. You guys are smart. You guys are funny. You guys are quick. We have the best chat. Casey Carr became a new YouTube member. Welcome, Casey. Welcome, welcome. And in the meantime, we will see you all tomorrow morning. Have a super great day. Thank you, Alexandra. You're the best.